Hey, what's going on everybody? Angry K9 here, back on the Unnamed Server, and today we're going to get started on a new project. I am over here on the roof of the Nether, and I want to build a gold farm. Now, I am going to use Snocrash's donut-style gold farm, and I am going to have a link to the video that he made on that in the description of this video, so you can go over there and check it out. Be sure to tell him that Angry K9 sent you. Woof! So I'm going to get started on this thing. Now, I've brought a few materials over here. This is obviously not enough to build this whole thing, but we're going to need more, but we can work on that as we go. I'm going to do this a little bit differently as well, or at least I'm going to try to do this video a little bit different. Instead of building part of this thing in one video and then building part of it off camera and then coming back and looking at it in the next video, I'm going to try to build this entire thing in this one video here. Now, I'm going to have to do a little bit of creative editing. But I think I'm going to give it a shot, and I'm pretty sure I can pull it off. I'll probably say what I'm going to do it off camera, and then we'll take a look at it after I do it. So the first thing I'm going to have to do, of course, is build a nice tall column all the way up to the top there, put a ladder on it, and then we're going to get ready to build the circles, the spawning platforms up there. There are going to be 3 layers to this thing, plus a glass roof. And I might run down below the Nether here and find those ghasts. Those guys are really annoying. Actually, what I'll probably do is just turn down the sound so I don't have to listen. And look at all these mushrooms. Getting back on track, I'm going to go ahead and build the column here all the way up. Now, I'm not really sure how high I need to build this. I'm going to have to take a look at it. Obviously, we are at 128 now. So we have another 128 blocks that we can build on. And we have 3 levels for spawning plus 1 level, which is a glass roof. Think I can do that. Shouldn't be too hard. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on that. Build my platform, ladder up, and I'll be back. And we'll get started on the circle. Talk a little bit about what size they need to be and how they need to be done. Okay, so I've got the pillar put up there and I've got the ladder up. And I did get started on the platforms, and you can sort of see them right there. I've got 1 ring on the inside there, and I started the 2nd ring on the outside, and you can see I've got a platform going across to the outer ring. Now that is all made of wood. I've decided I'm going to use wood for this, and what I need to do is I need to build 3 platforms that are 37 blocks wide in diameter, or I should say a radius of 37 blocks. And from each side of this pole here, 37 in that direction, 37 in that direction, and they're going to be large rounded platforms all the way up. And then the center area there is going to be a circle of a radius of 10 blocks that's going to be cleared out. I'm not going to have any platform right there, and that's going to be where we put our AFK spot and various other things up there. And then, of course, a little bit lower down here, we're going to have an area to collect all the drops and things like that. So let me head up top here and take a quick look at this. I'm going to have all kinds of pigmen spawning up there right now. So it's going to be pretty tricky to build this thing. So this netherrack here is actually going to be removed at some point in time. It's just temporary. This platform right here, this level is the bottom spawning level, that's the middle, and that's the top level. Then I'm going to have glass on the top to prevent anything that we don't want up here from spawning, like ghasts. I think magma cubes might spawn in here, but that's not really a problem. The big thing is the pigmen. We want them to spawn. You can see we have a few of them already up here. So I'm going to have 3 platforms here that are going to be 37, a radius of 37 blocks wide. And the inner ring here, of course, like I said, from that center pole here is 10 blocks. Now this center pole here is going to be taken down. It's not going to be all the way up there, probably down to about this level here. And then I'm going to have an AFK spot over there. And the way this works is we're going to have some stairs that come down from each platform there. Stairs from the top platform that come down to the middle. And then stairs from the middle platform down to this bottom platform, and essentially all the pigmen will pathfind to us. We'll have 1 pigman over here that is trapped, and we will aggro him, and as the others spawn, they will instantly be aggroed towards the player that has aggroed the trapped pigman, if I could talk, and then they'll just pathfind their way down here, end up dropping down, and they will die, of course, on impact. All the drops will go in the hoppers, and there will be a system in place to bring the XP up here. Now, I don't really need the XP for this. We do have the Enderman farm, and it works pretty well. But I'm going to go ahead and do it all the way instead of just building a drop collection system. I'll build it the collection system as well for both drops and XP. Just go ahead and do it and see how much XP we can get. Now, as you can see, we're going to have some pretty large spawning platforms, like I said, a radius of 37 blocks all the way around. And then I'm going to have that outer ring all the way around out there. And then the whole thing's going to be covered with glass on the top. So I'm going to be doing a lot of sand farming and smelting up. So I'm going to have to build one of my heavy-duty smelters down there and just start smelting up glass. And I'm going to turn it all white because I have a ton of bones, so I can make all the bone meal that I need to make it white stained glass. And since we have the Guardian farm now, I can also get some of the sea lanterns for lighting down there. I'm not going to really have any lighting up here. Don't really want that. Not that it matters. Pigmen will spawn regardless of the light level. But most of the lighting is going to be down here in the AFK spot. So I'm going to go ahead and work on these platforms, get them all done all the way around. All 3 levels as well as the glass. And that's going to take me quite a while. But when I come back here in just a second for you, all of them will be done. And then we will start working on the collection area. All right. Well, here it is about 3 days after the last segment was recorded, and this thing took me a really long time to do since I have very limited time. I'm not a full-time YouTuber. I have to kind of work around my work schedule and my life schedule, so this took me, like I said, about 3 days. But I do have the spawn area done, and I have actually somewhat unintentionally activated this thing earlier, and you can see we've got a lot of gold swords here, and quite a bit of gold. It's got some 26 ingots and several stacks of nuggets. Now you'll see that I am also at 44 XP. I have died several times in the last couple of days while working on this thing. At least 4 times, I believe, is my, well, no, actually that would be 5 times is the official death count. I have died 5 times. The last time was just recently. I was messing around with the pigmen up there and hit them, and they were spawning like crazy, and they were falling down here, and I wasn't really thinking much about the XP orbs that were collecting down here, and I had so many of those on top of the rotten flesh and the swords and everything just floating around down here that I lagged the server out so bad. And I was trying to get into the ladder up here, and because of the lag I couldn't do it. I ended up falling off and dying, so I had to try and make my way back here through the nether. And as soon as I hit the nether, the lag just went crazy. I had maybe 2 or 3 FPS, but I finally managed to get over here. And once I cleared out all the XP orbs, everything picked up pretty well. And I spent a little bit of time just working on moving the swords and everything around, trying to get stuff organized into those chests down there. And get that all taken care of. Now this thing is not done. I still got quite a bit of work to do on it. I have to build the drop area, or the collection area, drop collection area, and also the XP orb transport system that brings the XP orbs up here. But right now these guys are not aggroed, which is a good thing. So I can kind of run around here and not have to worry too much about them. So I have the top of this covered with glass that will prevent anything from spawning. And right now I am on level 252. Now this whole thing needs to be built above level 240 or it won't work. And I've noticed that the spawn pads seem to be just a little bit too big when I stand down there. Some of these guys that spawn way out here around the edge don't really immediately start tracking me. They do eventually, but not always. So the whole thing started, I hit one pigman by accident when I was putting these stairs in, and I noticed that I had them in the wrong place, so I was chopping them out with my axe, and somehow a pigman managed to get hit. He walked in front of me or something like that while I was swinging my axe, and he got hit, and that was my unintentional activation of this thing. Of course, I ended up falling and dying right there, and so yeah, it took me a while to get everything squared away, but here we are again, and these guys are not aggravated. And what I can do is I can go over here and I can shoot one of these guys. Now the concept of this, obviously, we will have one of these guys trapped over here somewhere, and he will be named with a name tag, and that way he won't despawn. And I'll have a chest up here with snowballs or something, and you can just throw a snowball at him. That will anger him, and all of these guys around here will be angered as well, and they will all try to track to me. So I'm going to go ahead and hit one of these guys as soon as I can get one in range here, and just to get them all angry at me. Now I have to kind of watch. If I stand at the very edge of this platform, sometimes they can hit me, and one of them did earlier knock me off. That was another one of the times that I died. There we go. There's a guy come up here, and there goes the lag. And see, they all come at me, and they can't get to me, but they push each other off in the gap. And as these guys spawn, they will become instantly aggroed, and they will just come running. See all those guys out there running? You see a couple of guys standing out there, like that guy's standing out there, but if I move over here, he comes after me. And you just saw those guys spawn, and they are instantly aggravated, coming after me. So they all track their way over to here, to this platform, and they end up pushing each other off. Now, obviously, there's going to be more to it than this. Yeah, there's going to be a, a drop zone here where they die, and their drops are going to be collected by hoppers, etc. So then we can run down here before this stuff builds up too much. You can see the lag's already starting. And let me drop down here real quick and try to clean some of this up. And a lot of those guys up there that don't fall off will end up despawning. And you can see there's already a bunch of XP down here, and this is based on a glitch in the game. And I'm sure it will be fixed at some point in time, but for now we're going to enjoy it while we can. And you can see I'm just getting XP like crazy. And just that little bit, I picked up a bunch of swords and ingot, a bunch of nuggets, and of course a lot of rotten flesh. And yeah, XP just keeps coming. And we also do get regular zombies spawning up here. I'm not sure how they get down here without dying, or if they spawn down here or not. I did notice that that platform over there was allowing ghasts to spawn, so I am going to have to do something about that. Cover it with half slabs or glass or something like that at some point in time. I don't want a ghast to go up there and shoot the wood and end up burning it all up. That will be annoying, and I kind of like that with the acacia wood and the spruce wood. Will you quit that? The acacia wood and the spruce wood, and then the dark oak in the middle there kind of gives it a kind of a cool look there. So yeah, I'm going to build the drop zone, or the collection area, and I've got to find Snocrash's video again and just review it real quick, because I forgot how far down I've got to go with the drop area. I think it's like 30 or 40 blocks, but I need to check that out, and I'm going to go ahead and work on that. And I'm going to go ahead and install a drop sorting system as well. Very simple system, just like the one I use in the base over at the mob grinder. So there's really no need to do all that on video. I want to do all this on off camera, and we'll just kind of take a look at it as I go. That way I can get this whole project in one video. And yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and work on that. And also for you to envy was over here. He fell off and died, and this is all of his stuff. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to go ahead and work on the drop zone. And I'm going to see about getting ready to work on the XP delivery system. And when I come back, we'll have all of that done, or at least pretty close to done. And at that point, this thing should just about be done and getting pretty darn close to being ready for use. And it is done and activated. And as you can see, these guys are coming at me like crazy trying to get to me, but they can't get to me. And we have quite a bit of XP coming up down there. Now, this thing does have several flaws that seem to be pretty much inherent to the design, and we'll talk a little bit about those. First of all, you can see a lot of XP orbs hanging out down there that never really seem to make it up here. That is one of the biggest problems there that I can see. Now, the original video claimed that this was a 95% accuracy or efficiency at getting the XP up here, but I kind of question that there. It doesn't really seem like it's doing very well. Doing better than I expected, to be honest with you. I mean, it is working, just not as well as I had hoped. But yeah, anyway, another problem is that these guys tend to clog up right here. You got all these guys trying to get into a one wide gap there to walk over the cactus there, and you can see they kind of clog up from time to time. So sometimes they will literally stop coming through here. And of course we get these regular zombies coming in here, and you can see they don't really seem to go over the cactus too well. They kind of hang out right there. Sometimes they'll go over pretty well, but every once in a while, like this guy in the armor there, and this guy here trying to go back the other way. And we've got a lot of these regular zombies over here. They spawn quite frequently, actually, because of the social behavior of zombies when they walk across this cactus here. Yeah, that tends to be a problem because they don't really come over here as well as they should, and tend to fill up the mob cap. But another problem that I was having with this thing is a lot of these guys would walk off the edge here, and then they would end up landing on that platform down there where they would not die. So they would hang out down there, and there would be a bunch of angry pigmen down there, and that's kind of not a good thing. So I put these rails up around here. Now baby pigmen do still tend to go over them, but that's alright. It's really not a problem. A lot of times they'll fall down and they'll land on the bedrock below, and then their drops will collect down there. So let me go over here and get some of this XP that's floating around here. Now, I have died several times while building this. I died twice since the last segment. That's why I'm back at 56 instead of being up a lot higher. But I do have quite a bit of XP. And I got a few drops here that I picked up from below, which is another problem. As these guys die down here, sometimes their drops tend to come through the glass and collect down here. You can see them all over the place here. Got quite a bit of stuff down here. And that kind of makes it inefficient for collecting drops, obviously. So, got all this in here. Now, I said I was going to have a regular sorting system in here, and I do intend to build that still. But just for the sake of the video, I wanted to get this done so that I could get the recording finished. And I'm trying to get all this stuff into these hoppers here. I'll just let it go and find its own place. Another problem we have are the chicken jockeys. Obviously, they tend to not die in this thing, and we get these baby pigmen hanging out down here, either on chickens or not. Sometimes they, when they're on this ice block, they get stuck in it and take suffocation damage. Let me get all this XP too. You can see we're getting a lot of XP that's not making it to the top, and XP everywhere. Yeah, so that's kind of annoying, but yeah, it works. That's all that counts, right? Other than that, I think that pretty much covers this thing. Now, I'm not really going to go too much into the mechanics of how all this works. Like I said, a link to the original tutorial video is in the description of this video, so you can head on over to Snocrash's channel and check it out. Basically, the pigmen fall down there, they die here. There's a hopper down there. The drops obviously go into the hopper, or at least some of them. And then the XP collects down here, and then that slime block pusher there pushes them across the ice over onto this slime block, which jumps up like that, sends it up to the mid-level. And these pistons are all tied into each other and timed out so that by the time the XP gets up to the mid-level, this slime block is pushed out and up and gives the XP orbs another little boost where they come up the tube here, and then the player stands AFK right here by the green glass and just collects all the XP. So these guys are still a little aggroed. I'm going to try to hit the regular zombies there to get rid of them. And these green zombies are a pain in the neck, obviously. You can see there's a whole bunch of them over there. And they don't seem to track as well as they should, but I think it has a lot to do with the fact that this gets clogged up. You see they come to the edge there and just kind of stop, but then the other pigmen push them down. Sometimes when the chicken jockeys fall down, the chickens don't die. They hang out down there in the area. And if I'm not actually AFK and I see one, I can just shoot an arrow down there. And usually I can take them out. They don't really seem to take the suffocation damage since they do fly. The block, when it pushes up, just kind of pushes them up, unlike the baby pigmen, which suffocate in the block. So yeah, all kinds of inefficiencies, little problems here and there. And I think the spawn pads are too big. You see that guy way out there and that guy right there. They don't seem to be really tracking me or anything. So sometimes I have to shoot an arrow out there to get their attention, then they come after me. So yeah, maybe I could reduce the size of the spawning area to 32 blocks instead of 37. That might help a little bit. Maybe put glass walls around the edge here instead of those half slab rails to prevent them from falling off and collecting down there. Maybe add some extra hoppers or something down there in the bottom. All kinds of different things I can do. I might look at this in a creative world off camera and see if I can just make some improvements and changes and things like that to improve the efficiency and everything like that. So yeah, I think that is going to do it for this episode. I sure do appreciate you watching. Again, if you want a tutorial on how to build this farm, you will find a link to that video in the description of this video. You can head on over to Snocrash's channel and check it out. And in the meantime, please feel free to comment, rate, and subscribe to my channel. If you're not a subscriber, my name is Angry Canine, and I will see you next time.